Um, like when I first played Edison was over a year ago, playing from work, and with Diva Hero going into top 16 with 100+ tournament, like 100+, right? So there's a lot of people, and at the time I was about to load up, and I'm like, oh, what's the best? I first loaded my Flamebell Monarch deck, and just got clapped.
So is Flameville Monarch not good now? Is that I didn't even know that.
Too slow.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I honestly feel that way about a lot of the decks. I think so many things are bad. Like, I think Torrential Tribute is a terrible card. I fucking think that card is garbage. I pretty much don't play it in any deck. It's so bad. And that might bite me in the ass when I'm playing like one of these online tournaments. People are like, well, Frazier doesn't play Torrential, but I think that card is trash. Like a lot of the decks are really slow. They set too many monsters. I actually this we're gonna go off on tangents a lot here, but I laughed at one of my friends because we were playing a match at tournament in real life recently, like 2 weeks ago, and it got to a point where both of us were kind of low on resources and kind of top decking. We both had maybe 2 cards each, and I remember saying to myself, I was low. I was so low in life points. I probably was at like 1100, and I said, I am not scared of you at all. You're going to draw and you're going to set a monster, and I laughed at him, and he drew and started laughing and set a monster. And I was like, that's all your deck can fucking do. And then he flipped up Raikou, targeted my background. I chained it was Hero Blast, and I got back Alias. I was like, you still can't kill me. I said, you just drew a card, you still can't kill me. And he sets another monster. I said, your deck is fucking garbage. Your deck is fucking garbage. All you do is set. You can't do anything. I said, you won't even summon your goddamn Raikou to attack me. I'm at 1100. It was so funny. I was just laughing at how bad, like, all the decks are so funny to me. But I was like, you probably just set Snowman Eater and just hamsters, like all these monsters that you got to keep setting, and then even when they get flipped, like the value isn't as crazy as you think. Like I summon Stratos and search and then attack into your Raikou. Like that is not good for you.
Yeah, and another key to the format that I think, so I also got not a funny story, like it ruined my Edison event, but I think a key to the format is your deck needs to be able to access Army Arm, Colossal Fighter, OTK. Because like you need that to answer like an absolute 0 to play past it. Like obviously maybe set up a Stardust so when it blows up you protect your field.
Right.
But if you could set up a Stardust, you could probably look for a way to set up Army Arm OTK. Arm Colossal Fighter. And that's why I like Deep Hero over Vayu Turbo. I think they're both very good decks.
Yeah.
Like tier 1, but you can there's easy setups.
Yeah, Vayu Turbo kind of sets itself up to get OTK'd.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't have a good back row, if you just summon your 2300 guy and attack me for 4000, which is just Greffer that guy, and that's a common play for them to do. They pretty much. I actually keep losing to that deck in my local, but every time I play against it, I am playing like some bullshit. The first week I played Diva Hero, but it wasn't Diva Hero that was a good list. It was just like McCabe said, here's some Diva Hero cards, and it had like Spy in it, and I forget what else, Gold Sark and stuff like that. It was not a good build of Diva Hero. And I got clapped. Well, I didn't get clapped. I guess game 3, it came down to him flipping Oppression. I went summon Cyber Dragon, and he flipped Oppression. And I was like, honestly, I sided out all of my back row hate against you, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I can like out that. So I just scooped. Like the game was one play. He went summon Greffer, send Vayu, send Sirocco, set back row pass. I went summon Cyber Dragon. He went activate Roll Oppression. I was like, best game. Like I'm not even gonna try to play it out. It's the same thing as you OTK me in 2022, taking 10 minutes to do it. I was like, that's the same exact thing. You just set up Unbreakable board technically. Like I didn't want to keep in shitty MST because game 1 and game 2, he basically set no back row. And so my read was like, this guy doesn't really play back row that much. And I don't want these deck cards. I literally had a dead heavy storm game 1 or 2. I forget which one it was, but it was just dead. And I was so frustrated. I was like, okay, I'm taking these out because I don't know. I was like, I don't know if he even plays back row. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he only plays them when he's going first. And then when he goes second, he takes them out, which, that makes sense, right? Like I don't expect him to have Roll Oppression in when he's going second. But then game 3, he probably sided in Oppression or already had Oppression in there some kind of way. And yeah, I got clapped. So I was like, all right, well that's kind of annoying. But Vayu Turbo it's kind of frustrating to play against because they have all of these blowouts. All of these one card, like for example, every time they draw Burial or Dark Armed, those cards are just obnoxiously powerful. And in priority with Dark Arm, he caught me off guard with that. I didn't know, this is my first week playing, and I completely forgot 12 years ago that was a thing. So he went summon Dark Arm, and I had Bottomless, and I had Starlight Rose set, and he goes, Social Dark Arm, and I was about to flip bottomless instantly
Mm-mm.
because
Yeah.
just the last Yu-Gi-Oh I played, which was honestly crazy. It's almost been 6 years since I played regular Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Yeah.
Priority's been going for a long time. So in my head, Priority's not even a thing. So he went summon. Thank God he went activate Priority, target this. He targeted the bottomless, and I just bottomless it. But that was almost a disaster. Yeah, that has like a lot of those cards that I just hate, like the one Gale, right? Like the one fucking Gale is so obnoxious too. It's just like, God damn it, like that card actually outed, like you went Sirocco Gale, half my Stardust, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it could do a bunch of stuff. Like even making Armor Master is massive too.
Yeah, it's
So,
good. The deck is like you said, it's definitely a tier 1 deck. I hate Diva Hero. I cannot vouch for that deck at all. I hate it. I always feel like it has these swingy. It's very swingy. I'm staring at the deck list right now, and a guy that got second, who's been performing really well. The
Filters,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with his deck. I'm not shitting on his deck or anything like that. I think his deck list is fine. I actually played the card for card the second week of Edison format at my local, and it was fine. But I do think that it has problems that I don't know if they're solvable because of just the card pool that you have access to. And like I mentioned, my biggest frustration is that you got to have water and you got to have heroes and you got to also draw miracle fusions. You got to do all of those things. And
Yeah.
it's not easy to do all of those things sometimes. Sometimes you just draw half of your deck. And that is like double Infernal Prodigy is so bad. Like I hate it. I understand why you play it. You play triple Kais and you play Diva so you can armor arm easily, right? Like you can just go Infernal Prodigy Diva kill you. But like
Yeah.
people are just smarter in my area. I don't know if it's like the bias of my area. Like I'm literally playing against fucking McCabe and Silverman. Those are the people who are in my tournament. So
Yeah.
like they're not stupid. They're not like gonna leave some of the situations that people just walk into. They're not doing that. And so I just end up in these frustrating situations where I'm like, I have Infernal Prodigy in my hand and I hate this card so much.
Yeah. There's just like the way I look at Diva Hero is it needs to play two different ways till it gets there. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
but when it gets there, it's like it's game, right?
It's broken. So it's funny you say that. Like the games where I go Summer Stratos set Wing Blast go, I kill you on turn 2.
Yeah.
I'm like Summer Stratos set Wing Blast go. You go set back row set Monster go. I go in phase Wing Blast. Target your back row. Spin it back to the top. Discard Malicious. Draw. Banish Malicious. Summon Diva. Kill you. Miracle Fusion. You're dead. Like literally,
Yeah.
I had multiple games that ended exactly like that. Like that was my turn 1. Is like Stratos with a back row, and then turn 2 they're dead. And those games feel amazing. It makes it feel like it's the best deck or like one of the best decks. It makes it feel great. But then there are games where my hand is just like Snowman Eater, Gores, like some traps, and then maybe some Miracle Fusions, and there's no hero, and I don't see Stratos for a long time, or just like
you got
any
Gilman
hero
in there too. You got young Gilman in the opening hand.
And I'm just like, God damn it, my deck sucks.
No, I feel that, and there's some cards that I think could be considered, like Fishbark Blaster. Like Fishbark Blaster in the deck. If you have Fishbark Blaster and in deck and Diva Future Fusion, that's Army Arm OTK.
By itself.
Yeah, by itself. Because
So
you bring
Future Fusion Diva,
you bring back a Gil, you bring out a Gilman,
Yep.
and then you banish a Malicious.
Diva makes okay. That's actually amazing.
But the Infernal Prodigy also is if you have Infernal Prodigy and Diva Future, you need more cards for that one. But this one's just 2 cards.
If you just have access to a Malicious or that's the same thing.
Yeah, or Fading Caius, for example, something like that. It's just finding that, and the other way you can kill people that people forget is you equip Army Arm to your own guy, and just your game.
Yeah, Armor Arm's really good. The card is really good. I have such a love-hate relationship with Diva Hero because I do think that it is like a good deck in Edison format, and it just has these really frustrating things where I feel like there's like synergy, right? But then there's also some things that just don't have synergy. Like drawing the discard traps, because the guy plays 3 Wing Blast and a Raigeki Break, right? So that's him saying that I want to draw a discard trap every single hand. But sometimes you draw them, and obviously you don't have good cards to discard. And in Edison format, because it's so grindy, going neg like that can be so bad against certain grindy decks.
Yeah.
Like going neg like that is so trash when you're just like, I have to Wing Blast here and I have to discard a real card. It feels awful.
100% agree with that. But I think that's when you play. So the way I look at Diva Hero is similar to the way I view Teledad. Is if I could make my Stardust get my +1s, like if all I need is a resolve, like a Snowman Eater face up, and then a Diva. Like I don't have a great hand, but that turns into a Stardust with good defensive traps. The Stardust nets me +1s, right? Each turn. Dodge with it till I draw out of it. And I think Diva Hero is a very good draw out of deck. Like you can the deck is fair, but it's strong fair.
Yeah, it's explosive. It's very explosive. And the interesting thing, so me and Scott Page recently came to Philly to support Christian Arena's new store opening. And so me, Scott Page, Silverman, we all went out to dinner. And I think Henry, who also won a Shonen Jump Championship, from what I understand, Asian guy. I just met him for the first time. I think he's like a really big vendor in California. But he came as well, and we were all just talking about Edison format and stuff like that. And me and Scott both agreed that the Hero Beat deck is actually just kind of crazy. Like
it is. It's
because traps are so good. Hero Beat is kind of wild, and Skill Drain's also wild, and Oppression's wild. And these are cards that if they go unanswered, you just lose.
Yep.
Like I'm looking at the
agree.
Yeah, those, and I usually, it's weird. Because I would consider Heroes to be kind of anti-meta if you think about it. It's maining Skill Drain, so that's definitely it's anti-meta. But it's an anti-meta deck. But then I could easily see this being like it's really a meta deck in this format. Like it's strong. It plays Stratos and it goes set 4. And that is just so intimidating. And then obviously, if you want a heavy storm, you're scared of getting Starlight Roaded because that's just game. There's like so many things. But then playing that deck, every time your opponents get like a Cold Wave off on you or a True Nade and they summon a bunch of big shit, it's just like, I lose.
Yeah, like that's a deck, for example. If I get a Stardust out, I win.
Yeah, Stardust for that deck is extremely hard because they have to have such a specific thing to get rid of Stardust. Like it has to be you attacking into a deep prison and being slow, or them having like honest and you not having a response to their attack with Alias, because I assume that most people who summon Alias are probably just gonna be like attack, and just like typically Stardust is very hard to deal with in this deck. They do have outs. Like I really like the 4th place deck, the Gia's deck, would plays like Skyscraper and the 1 Captain Gold.
Yeah, so it could beat over it. Right?
That card is so randomly. So I play Hero Beat my 3rd week of Edison. And Skyscraper got me out of a lot of weird situations that I didn't respect it. I was like, I want to take out Captain Gold and Skyscraper. I feel like these are the 2 worst cards in my deck. But then so many situations like Titanial, turn 1 Titanial. I'm just like Alias Skyscraper attack. And like that gets you out of Titanial. It's so wild. She
can be so frustrating to out. Especially in the 1 plant deck. Our friend Gary's been playing it, but
the Amorales burn. It's funny, I just got one today, one of my $40 Amorales things. These fucking things are $40 each because they literally do not come in any other rarity. I think it's only been printed 1 time in RGBT. I don't know what that is. Raging Battle. Okay. Yeah, this is 1st edition, and I went on TCG Play to order these because I ordered every deck. I spent probably $3K. Well, I spent more. I spent like $4K now Edison because I have every deck, and me and Kenny were on the phone until 4 a.m. And I bought. I wanted to have my whole extra deck ulti and just super nice.
The conversation was so funny. We're sitting there, and he was like, "Oh, I just want to see how much this one costs." Oh, I'm just putting them. He was like, "I'm just putting them on my cart. I just want to see what I'm not going to order them. I just want to see how much it costs. But I'm not going to order them." And then he's like, "Okay, I got ulti Colossal. I got ulti this, ulti that." He's like, "Oh, my cart's like 700." And he's like, "Oh, I forgot this one." He's like, "Oh, it's like 900." He's like, "I'm not going to order it." I was like, "Frazier." Fucking
my friend,
who are you lying to?
My friends know me too well. The next day I was like, so I ordered the whole extra deck in the highest rarity. Like I ordered fucking Brionic Dual Terminal, Goyo Guardian ulti, Stardust Black Rose ulti, like everything is just the max rarity now. And I think I'm about to do something even crazier, but we'll see. I
wanted to say though, that plant deck, which as far as I know, nobody played that in 2010. No. That plant deck is so fucking frustrating. I mean, if you have Titano on board with 2 Dandy tokens and that fucking Amorales thing, like outing Titanial is so fucking frustrating in that deck.
Yeah, it is. And she keeps coming out in the game multiple times. She's actually really obnoxious because the DDR and So like when you bottomless her or deprison her, if they like choose to blatantly let her get, or she just gets banished anyway because of the way the deck plays, like Emerald banishes her. The deck is surprisingly good. I thought it was a rant. I thought it was a mistake that it topped the tournament. But when we went and played it, so it's Carpath's deck, it got 5th. I like every deck that topped this tournament, by the way. They're all unique. I think Zombies is probably the worst one. But like every deck that topped this tournament outside of the Zombie deck, I think is so cool that they're all so different. And this is the most unique shit I've ever seen. Like I've seen Neuralis before in real life. I remember my one friend was playing at Edison, and his build was obviously not very good. But I was familiar with Neuralis back then, but I never saw anything like this volcanic counter nonsense that just burns you. And it puts you in a situation where you get to a point you can't even attack them anymore because you're so low. So you have to like poke at them with like a Sangan and hope to God that they never do anything because they can just crash apparently too. It's so weird. It's such a weird.
The other thing that's rude about the deck is she kills herself if she attacks. The fucking plant. It's a 2200 or no? Does it have 0 attack, 2200 defense? I don't remember. I think it has
2200 attack. It has 2200
so
attack.
it's 2200 attack. If she attacks, she kills herself. If she dies, she does 800 burn damage. If she exists in the end phase, she re-special summons herself.
So she does 3000 damage just by attacking.
She's so, and then she just comes back.
And the deck has amazing synergy. Like I honestly have to give it to the guy who made this. I think the only thing that this deck needs that was forgotten is the Breed Dragon. Hey guys, if you like this clip, we have full video versions of our podcast episodes available on the IMNerd Patreon, as well as exclusive content.
If you'd like to listen to our full podcast episodes or find us on any other social media platforms, you can do so by clicking the link tree below.